Thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. Let's start from the court, where the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Justice Sremsai, has told an Accra High Court that government is waging a relentless onslaught on Galamsey financiers and kingpins in efforts to deal with the illegal mining menace. Well, the Deputy Attorney General, who is leading the prosecution of the NPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, told the Accra High Court illegal mining remains the country's biggest problem, and both random galamseyers and the kingpins will be dealt with to the full extent of the law, regardless of who they are, really. Abuakwa South was in court with Chairman Wontumi, the first in this latest effort by government to deal with illegal mining. He filed this report.
Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Enchibo, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, is facing two separate criminal cases of alleged illegal mining activities involving his company, Akonta Mining Limited. Both cases were heard at the High Court here in Accra, where he has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Chairman Wontumi's legal troubles deepened this week when he appeared before the police CID, prior to being put before two different courts in Accra to answer a total of 13 charges, all linked to alleged illegal mining operations in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve and Samreboy in the Western region. Chairman Wontumi and four others, including his Akonta Mining Company Limited, were arraigned on 7 counts of unlawful mining and environmental destruction. The prosecution alleged that Akonta Mining, under the direction of Chairman Wontumi and his associates, operated illegally within the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve in 2022, despite being denied a permit to do so. They are accused of destroying about 13 hectares of land, felling over 300 trees, and erecting buildings within the reserve without authorization. After hearing arguments from both sides, the court in this matter granted Chairman Wontumi bail in the sum of 10 million cedis with two sureties, one of whom must justify with landed property. Earlier in the day, Chairman Wontumi had appeared in another criminal court where he faced 6 separate charges for breaches of Ghana's mining laws. In that case, he was granted 15 million cedis bail with 3 sureties and placed on a stop list at all entry and exit points of the country. The court also ordered him to deposit his passport, report to investigators twice a month. The 6 counts in that case includes unauthorized assignment of mineral rights and facilitating unlicensed mining operations, which prosecutors say occurred within Akonta Mining's concession at Samreboy in the Western region. A second accused person, Kwame Entry, is currently at large. Both cases stem from investigations by the Criminal Investigations Department, which found evidence of large-scale destruction in parts of the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. Officials say excavators bearing Akonta Mining's logo were used in operations that led to the extensive environmental damage, including river pollution and deforestation. Chairman Wontumi has maintained his innocence in both cases. Bernard Enchibo has since failed to meet the bail conditions, at least for tonight, and will sleep in police custody.
What these bail conditions mean for NPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman Wontumi Bernard Enchibo is that until this trial, in which he is accused of facilitating illegal mining, is concluded, he is unable to travel outside the country, perhaps without the permission of the court. And any time he wishes to do so on any basis, he would have to apply to the court for the court to give him permission, or perhaps for the court to revise the bail conditions. But until then, Chairman Wontumi is not allowed to travel outside the country. Reporting for Joy News, Abuakwa South, High Court Complex, Accra.
Well, Chairman Wontumi, we understand, is still in police custody after his lawyers failed to secure his bail conditions yesterday. We will be touching base with one of his lawyers this afternoon on The Pulse, and Kyebi, to get updates on that, if indeed they've met all the bail conditions and if Wontumi is a free man as we speak. But away from that, residents of Kyebi are grappling with a severe water crisis after the Kyebi water treatment plant, the municipality's only primary source of potable water, was shut down over 3 months ago. The closure comes after illegal mining activities, commonly known as Galamsey, turned the once pristine Brim River, the lifeline of the community, into a thick sludge, pushing turbidity levels to a staggering 64,000 NTU. Far above the safe threshold of 2,000 NTU. The impact on daily life is devastating. Thousands of residents now struggle to access clean water, with families, schools and clinics forced to rely on unsafe alternatives or rely on sachet water. Speaking on Newsdesk, Member of Parliament for Abuakwa South, Dr. Kingsley Ajiman, said the situation is causing a major health crisis in his municipality.
The rivers or the waters are beyond treatment. That is why the Kyebi treatment plant of the Ghana Water Company has shut down. To see my people without water, when it is usually agreed that water is life, means that we have to have a clarion call, and to see the open display of these excavators along major roads in the constituency, the impunity with which this is continuing is very disheartening. I'm frightened, and as a member of parliament, to see my people have a lot of renal, skin rashes, and waterborne diseases is not something that I can be excited about. I think it's about time that we the constituents, have to come to the realization that this thing has really gotten us to our neck. We have to stop it. Because those involved in this activity, the few greedy people, we the people who have good conscience, must rise up and stop this. We may not need any executive direction from the presidency. We are bearing the heat of what is happening to us. The sanitation issues that has arisen as a result of this Galamsey is so much noticeable. We don't have water.
So you said there's no potable water in your constituency. How are residents coping? What sources of water is accessible to them now?
They are relying on sachet water, which is not sustainable. And even the disposal of this sachet, because it's not biodegradable, is something that is going to have a further knock-on effect on our environment.
Well, we're trying to establish contact with the Ghana Water Company to know the current state of the Kyebi treatment plant, but unfortunately we do not have them. Meanwhile, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Task Force continues operations to clamp down on illegal mining activities. Yesterday, the task force carried out raids on several river bodies, seizing mining equipment used in unauthorized operations. And that statement is coming up on your screens right now from NIMAS, just giving us updates on some of the key operations. And it states on your screens now that on Tuesday, October 7, 2025, NIMAS operation disrupted Galamsey activities along the Ankombra River in Nzima municipality of the Western region. Now, these are the equipment they seized. 1 excavator, 100 makeshift structures set ablaze, 7 champagnes destroyed, 88 water pumping machines have been seized as well. And during the meeting with the CSO, the Lands Minister just gave us an update that all the water pumping machines that have been seized so far would be distributed to farmers. Now, they go on to state the key things that they have seized, and that is on your screens right now. It includes plastic chairs, water hoses, and the list is endless. While still on illegal mining, the government, through the Environmental Protection Authority, is intensifying its crackdown on illegal mining with the delivery of 24 vehicles and 250 motorbikes to boost environmental monitoring and enforcement. The logistics were procured through a joint effort involving the Forestry Services Division, the Minerals Commission, the Water Resources Commission, the Ghana Geological Survey Authority and the EPA as part of a broader interagency collaboration to strengthen the fight against illegal mining. Handing over the vehicles to the Chief Executive of EPA for distribution to partner institutions, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister Abuakwa said the initiative is part of the government's strategic effort to enhance institutional capacity in combating illegal mining.
is putting his money where it matters most. We had talked last week about the focus and declaring some of the forest areas and the critical forest reserve as no-go areas. It requires that if we are deploying the security forces in these areas, they will need these logistics to move around. And so this is really part of a larger strategic effort to make sure that the resources and the logistics needed to really be effective in making sure we can protect our water bodies and our forest reserves are in place. And so what you see here is government basically putting its money where its mouth is, making sure we invest in what it matters, and also showing how committed President Mahama is when it comes to this fight against illegal mining. We think this is going to really have a very significant impact. We've talked a lot about the effort of the Blue Water Guards. In some of the watering areas, they require some motorbikes to move around, to be given intelligence, to be getting in touch, and be in places at the same time. They can't be walking. They should have access to these areas. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Task Force is already deploying some of these areas. They will need these vehicles to be able to get deployed to these areas. They are as critical, and I can't even emphasize how important these vehicles are. It's obvious that it's not enough. We need to continue to try to get more of the logistics required, and that's why we are even calling on corporate Ghana to come and be part of this effort.
Well, after receiving the vehicles and motorbikes, the EPA CEO, Professor Nana Ama-Brown-Kluge, said the move underscores government's real commitment to empowering agencies to tackle the Galamsey menace effectively.
A few months ago, we were in a meeting. We normally have meetings with our stakeholders, Minerals Commission, Forestry Commission, and Water Resources Commission from the EPA as chair. So during the meeting, we got a call from the President of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to urgently work it out to get logistics for the fight of the illegal mining. So we immediately started looking for funds to find these logistics that we see here today. So our mission is to find more logistics than what we see today. Today we have 24 Land Cruiser troopers and then 250 motorbikes to start with the fight. We already have some logistics in the system. This is an additional logistic to support the fight. We hope to secure more for the same mission that we are in. We know that this is a serious fight every Ghanaian is concerned about. So this is some of our efforts showing the commitment that we have on the fight. We can't do without the vehicles and the motorbike. So these logistics are to support our efforts. The logistics are going to be shared among these institutions, and the institutions are going to own them for their operations. So the same maintenance arrangements the individual institutions have for their vehicles will be applied the same way to these new vehicles. They are going to be owned completely by the institutions.
Well, let's take you back to our earlier story. We told you we'll be engaging Andy Apiakubi here on the pulse. He is one of the lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi. Just to give us updates on that case before the court. We know that he's been granted bail, but he's yet to meet the bail conditions. Mr. Apiakubi, we appreciate your time here on the pulse. Just update us, really. Have you met the bail conditions?
Ashanti Regional Chairman of the...
Hello, Mr. Apiakubi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. I just wanted to find out if you've secured the release of Chairman Wontumi.
We have met the bail conditions, as you rightly put it, but we have not been able to secure his release because of the verification process, even as we have submitted the necessary document. So we are waiting for the verification for that. But it is important that the conversation, the process of bail and what is required, because bail ought not to be used as punishment, and therefore the grant of bail must also not come along with stringent conditions that are difficult to meet. So I believe we need to discuss that, and once we have an opportunity, we'll indicate the processes that you go through, even as the court will have given you an order that bail is granted.
As counsel for Chairman Wontumi, are you concerned about the bail conditions?
I'm concerned about the bail conditions, not particularly in respect of Chairman Wontumi, but as a process, judicial process, I'm concerned because it seeks to undermine authority as the order that bail.
Dr. Kyebi, you have to position rightly, since we're losing you intermittently. Is your concern that the process is cumbersome?
The process is cumbersome and expensive. When you are granted bail with surety to be justified, it means we need to send that as free. And what it is that the value, the amount by the threshold bail, you have to bring property that amount, that threshold, or even more. When you want to send that to the bank, it needs to go through process of verification and valuation. And of that, need money. Because when you go to the risk board, the land or the land program, you have to pay them statutory fees. When you pay for education, the value, you have to pay at 1 of the value of the property. Assuming you are finding the property that is worth 15 million, then you have to pay statutory fee of 150,000 Ghana cedis for the valuation to be done. Is it the case that when you have not found to be guilty and you have just applied for bail and bail is granted, you have to pay that amount of money, and why bring justice to somebody at that cost? These are some of the issues that need to be addressed in the process.
But then, as counsel for Wontumi, lead counsel, you can challenge the bail conditions in court if you feel that is quite high.
Yes, of course, and that we did. But if the court is insistent on the bail application, and this is contingent upon an application, the Attorney General that bail conditions must be stringent or commensurate, so-called, with an offense which is not privileged yet. You are coming from the Attorney General who doubles as the Minister for Justice. You see, it means that the whole system is incorrect and it needs to be addressed.
But then clarify for me, did you go to court to challenge the current bail conditions, or you're referring to when he was initially invited by Yoko?
When you, no, in all cases, even in the court system, yesterday I had to challenge the value as put on the justification, and I complained that it was excessive. Lobby that the court disagree with me. But again, saying that if you give a it means that you ask the accused who is not yet guilty, he would bring out an amount before he is released. And if you want to consider how an accused who may not have that resource before the court and being asked to pay such an amount of money before the value can be confirmed and subsequently his release is granted. How many of us in Ghana can afford that? Does it also mean that if you don't have money to be able to pay for that, you will be denied justice? And meanwhile, you will be in court upon the instance of the Minister for Justice, who doubles us and for that matter, the prosecutor.
And is this something you plan to challenge in court post this whole process?
I plan to challenge within the institutions of state. I will make sure that I make a presentation to Parliament for Parliament to show concern if there is a need for statutory limitations to be put on bail conditions. They let them. We will also make a presentation to the judiciary through. I'm going to petition the Ghana Bar Association to make a presentation to the judiciary for us to consider how do we deliver justice to accused persons who have not yet been pronounced guilty when they apply for bail, and the conditions that are attached to the grant of bail, and how fair these are.
And how soon should we expect these petitions to reach their decks?
We need to start a conversation in the public. So I believe that if you people believe that there is injustice in the delivery of justice within the application for bail, let's start a conversation and let's do the negotiation to the point that we all countries agree there is some injustice in the and the grant is executed.
But back to your client, Chairman Wontumi, how long is the verification process supposed to last for?
We have met the conditions, but we are still going through the verification process. And indeed, it requires payment of money. That is where I have the difficulty, because you have to go to a state institution to confirm the value that valuers put on the property, and you need to pay 1% statutory payment for the state to be able to present it, for which you will have to accept for your patient and your release. And I'm saying that not for it can have two can have tea. So if you have tea, meanwhile, the proof is on the attorney and the staff proof has not been done. Yet you are being asked to pay amount of money before your bail would be effective. And have
Mr. Abuakwa, I seem to be losing you intermittently. If you could just position rightly and take that point for us again so that we can let you go.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if your release is subject to your payment of money, then it means that you are buying your freedom. And in the process as it is right now, if the court says that bring a justification of 10 million or 15 million, then it means that you have to go through a process of verifying the authenticity of the document you are bringing, and the process of confirming the value of the property you have brought. And what I'm saying is that it costs you money to go through the verification, because when you go to Lands Commission, you pay statutory fees. When you go to AESL, that would have to confirm the value. You will pay something like 1% of the value of the property. And that 1%, assuming it is 15 million as the court pronounced yesterday, then you are supposed to pay 150,000 Ghana cedis before that confirmation will be done for you. And the alternative, if you go to Lands Commission for the valuation, the Lands Commission will have a limit up to 2.5 million, and therefore a request for 15 million will not be taken by Lands Commission. And even where the value is below 2.5 million Ghana cedis, the Lands Commission will have to constitute a board to sit down and do this evaluation. All this while you are still in custody. So what will be the effect of the grant of bail? And this is what is happening in Ghana. And it needs general attention and correction.
Thank you so much, Ani Abuakwa, is lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi. Just briefly before I let you go, will Chairman Wontumi be released today?
It doesn't lie in my hands.
Okay.
We have done what a lawyer ought to do by way of securing the bail. We have even challenged the values put on the bail. and we have not been successful that in refusing it. We have to finish the next document for the process of justification. And it's the process that is so, and so that I'm feeling about. And this is Ghana. And is it the case that we want to discriminate people for reasons that we don't have people to pay? And I'm saying that it is not payment both, it's payment to other institutions. And I'm saying, go to that, you will pay it. If you go AESL for confirmation of the values, you will pay the appropriate fee. And I'm particularly complaining about how much you are paying when you go to AESL, 1% of the property. And in the value, in the case of 15 million, you will be required to pay 150,000.
Yeah.
For charges for which the prosecution has not proven.
Okay.
Otherwise, you are staying in custody. I mean, how is this law effective in supporting our democracy?
Okay, thank you so much, Andy Apiakubi. He's lead counsel for Chairman Wontumi. Away from that, Ghana's military recruitment age limit is under scrutiny, with calls to extend the eligibility age from 25 to 35 years. Minister for Communications Samuel Nate George and Majority Chief Whip Roxy Nelson Dafiamepo are pushing for an immediate review to allow more citizens to serve. The Ghana Armed Forces is currently recruiting, but citizens about 25 years are not eligible. However, security analyst and former military officer Colonel Festus Abuakwa holds a contrary view. Listen.
The assumption in his statement is that they have not had the opportunity and must be given the opportunity. The question I'm asking is, when they were 20 years, or 21, or 22, 23, 24, 25, why didn't they seek the opportunity or seize it to recruit themselves or to be recruited into the armed forces? Why did they have to wait for another 5 years?
Maybe.
Let's assume that during the 5 years, they had attained professional skills. So we're allowing another 2 years for you to come in as a professional. We are not like America and the UK, where people are unwilling to join the service or services. So they are giving them inducements. Some will be promised higher education, some will be promised this. That is not the reality in Africa, where by and large we have a youth bulge, there is unemployment. And at any time that you want to recruit people into security services, you have far more than the numbers that you are looking for. So, sincerely, I don't understand the logic in the statement that he is making.
Well, Colonel Festus Abuakwa, retired, also explains recruiting people above 25 years could lead to an increase in the health budget of the Defense Ministry.
The fact of the matter is that as we age, we begin to experience health challenges. So if you bring in older people, it is likely to increase the health budget of the Ministry of Defense. Because many more people who are aged who end up at the military hospitals looking for this or that treatment.
Well, join me on phone is the ranking member of Ghana's Parliamentary Select Committee on Defense and Interior, Reverend Inftim Fojo. We appreciate your time here on the Pulse. You've just been listening to varied opinions about this. Roxy Nelson Dafiamepo himself, when he put out this post, started it out with quite an interesting intro, which I'm sure our audience is quite interested in. You can go on myjohnline.com and read that full story. He said that foot soldiers really have been raising concerns about it. And so we just wanted to get your thoughts about it. Should we review the age for recruitment into our military? What's your thoughts? Okay, whilst we reconnect the lines to him, you can share your thoughts with us or join us on TV on all our social media platforms. So we've just been hearing from key members of the NDC push for a review of the age really for recruitment into the military. And we have been hearing varied opinions about it. We spoke to Colonel Festus Abuaji, who feels that that move is not necessary at this point in time. He raises concerns about that inflating our health budget, especially for the military, and the implications in the long run. We are still working our phone lines to get clear connection to Reverend Intim Forger. When we have him, we'll have that conversation here on the Pulse. But on a positive note, government has released some 9.5 million Ghana cedis to settle arrears owed CHAS since 2023. Stay with us here on the Pulse. After this quick turn, we'll tell you all about that. Please stay tuned in.